The 8 Famous Engines by the Reverend W. Awdry, with illustrations by John T. Kenny.
Dear friends, the Fat Controller's engines are now quite famous. They have been on the wireless and have had many other adventures. But he had another plan too for his engines, and this book will tell you what it was. Signed, the author.
Percy Takes the Plunge. Sometimes Percy takes stone trucks to the other end of the line. There he meets engines from the other railway. One day, Henry wanted to rest in the shed, but Percy was talking to some tank engines.
It was raining hard. Water swirled under my boiler. I couldn't see where I was going, but I struggled on. Oh, Percy, you are brave. Well, said Percy modestly, it wasn't anything really. Water's nothing to an engine with determination. Tell us more, Percy, said the engines.
What are you engines doing here? Hissed Henry. This shed is for the Fat Controller's engines. Go away. Silly things, Henry snorted.
They're not silly.
Percy had been enjoying himself. He was cross because Henry had sent them away. They are silly, and so are you. Water's nothing to an engine with determination. Pah!
Anyway, said cheeky Percy, I'm not afraid of water. I like it.
He ran away singing,
Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain.
Percy arrived home feeling pleased with himself.
Silly old Henry,
he chuckled. Thomas was looking at a board on the quay. It said, Danger.
We mustn't go past it, he said. That's orders.
Why? Danger means falling down something, said Thomas.
I went past danger once and fell down a mine.
Percy looked beyond the board. I can't see a mine, he said. He didn't know that the foundations of the quay had sunk and that the rails now sloped downward towards the sea.
Stupid board, said Percy.
For days and days he tried to sidle past it, but his driver stopped him every time. No, you don't, he would say. Then Percy made a plan. One day at the top station, he whispered to the trucks.
Will you give me a bump when we get to the quay?
The trucks were surprised. They had never been asked to bump an engine before. They giggled and chattered about it the whole way down. Whoa, Percy, whoa, said his driver, and Percy checked obediently at the distance signal.
Driver doesn't know my plan, he chuckled.
On, laughed the trucks. Percy thought they were helping.
I'll pretend to stop at the station, but the trucks will push me past the board. Then I'll make them stop. I can do that whenever I like.
If Percy hadn't been so conceited, he would never have been so silly. Every wise engine knows that you cannot trust trucks. They reached the station and Percy's brakes groaned. That was the signal for the trucks. Go on! Go on! They yelled and surged forward together. They gave Percy a fearful bump and knocked his driver and fireman off the footplate. Ow! Said Percy, sliding past the board. The day was misty, the rails were slippery, his wheels wouldn't grip. Percy was frantic. That's enough! He hissed. But it was too late. Once on the slope, he tobogganed helplessly down, crashed through the buffers, and slithered into the sea. You are a very disobedient engine. Percy knew that voice. He groaned. The foreman borrowed a small boat and rowed the Fat Controller round.
Please, sir, get me out, sir. I'm truly sorry, sir.
No, Percy, we cannot do that till high tide. I hope it will teach you to obey orders.
Yes, sir.
Percy shivered miserably. He was cold. Fish were playing hide and seek through his wheels. The tide rose higher and higher. He was feeling his position more and more deeply every minute. It was nearly dark when they brought floating cranes, cleared away the trucks, and lifted Percy out. He was too cold and stiff to move by himself, so he was sent to the works next day on Henry's goods train. Well, 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 chuckled Henry. Did you like the water?
No. I am surprised. You need more determination, Percy. Water's nothing to an engine with determination, you know. Perhaps you will like it better next time.
But Percy is quite determined that there won't be a next time. Gordon Goes Foreign. Lots of people travel to the big station at the end of the line. Engines from the other railways sometimes pull their trains. These engines stay the night and go home next day. Gordon was talking one day to one of these. "When I was young and green," he said, "I remember going to London. Do you know the place? The station's called King's Cross." "King's Cross?" snorted the engine. "London's Euston. Everybody knows that." "Rubbish," said Duck. "London's Paddington. I know. I worked there." They argued till they went to sleep. They argued when they woke up. They were still arguing when the other engine went away. "Stupid thing," said Gordon crossly. "I've no patience." "Stupid yourself," said Duck. "London's Paddington. Paddington, do you hear?" "Stop arguing," James broke in. "You make me tired. You're both agreed about something anyway." "What's that?" "London's not Euston," laughed James. "Now shut up." Gordon rolled away, still grumbling. "I'm sure it's King's Cross. I'll go and prove it." But that was easier said than done. London lay beyond the big station at the other end of the line. Gordon had to stop there. Another engine then took his train. If I didn't stop, he thought, I could go to London. One day he ran right through the station. Another time he tried to start before the fireman could uncouple the coaches. He tried all sorts of tricks, but it was no good. His driver checked him every time. "Oh dear," he thought sadly, "I'll never get there." One day he pulled the express to the station as usual. His fireman uncoupled the coaches, and he ran on to his siding to wait till it was time to go home. The coaches waited and waited at the platform, but their engine didn't come. A porter ran across and spoke to Gordon's driver. "The inspector's on the platform. He wants to see you." The driver climbed down from the cab and walked over to the station. He came back in a few minutes looking excited. "Hello," said the fireman. "What's happened?" "The engine for the express turned over when it was coming out of the yard. Nothing else can come in or out. They want us to take the train to London. I said we could if the Fat Controller agreed. They telephoned, and he said we could do it. How's that?" "Fine," said the fireman. "We'll show them what the Fat Controller's engines can do." "Come on," said Gordon. "Let's go." He rolled quickly over the crossings and backed onto the train. It was only a few minutes before the guard blew his whistle, but Gordon thought it was ages. Come on," he puffed to the coaches. Come on, come on, come on." "We're going to town, we're going to town," sang the coaches slowly at first, then faster and faster. Gordon found that London was a long way away. "Never mind," he said. "I like a good long run to stretch my wheels." But all the same, he was glad when London came in sight. The Fat Controller came into his office next morning. He looked at the letters on his desk. One had a London postmark. "I wonder how Gordon's getting on," he said. The station master knocked and came in. He looked excited. "Excuse me, sir, have you seen the news?" "Not yet. Why?" "Just look at this, sir." The Fat Controller took the newspaper. "Good gracious me," he said. "There's Gordon. Headlines, too. Famous engine at London station. Police called to control crowds." The Fat Controller read on, absorbed. Gordon returned next day. The Fat Controller spoke to his driver and fireman. "I see you had a good welcome in London." "We certainly did, sir. We signed autographs till our arms ached, and Gordon had his photograph taken from so many directions at once he didn't know which way to look." "Good," smiled the Fat Controller. "I expect he enjoyed himself. Didn't you, Gordon?" "No, sir, I didn't." "Why ever not?" "London's all wrong," answered Gordon sadly. "They've changed it. It isn't King's Cross anymore. It's St. Pancras."